Hello. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are uncovering something extraordinary. Something that has been literally frozen beneath miles of ice for thousands of years. What if advanced civilizations existed in Antarctica? What if they built massive monuments, pyramids, the same structures found in Egypt, in Mexico, in Peru, but this time at the bottom of the world? In 2016, satellite imagery revealed something impossible. 3 massive pyramid-like structures, rising from the Antarctic ice. Perfectly symmetrical, too precise to be natural. The official explanation? Mountains. Just mountains shaped by erosion. But here's the problem, the angles are too perfect. The geometry is too exact. And the question nobody is asking is, why are they keeping this hidden? Today we explore the Antarctic pyramids, the evidence governments want buried, and the questions that mainstream science refuses to answer. In 2016, something extraordinary happened. Google Earth satellite images were released, and they showed something that changed everything. 3 pyramid-like structures, rising from the Ellsworth Mountains in Antarctica in the Heritage Range, at coordinates 79 degrees 58 minutes 39 seconds south, 81 degrees, 57 minutes, 32 seconds west. The main structure. The most striking one is approximately 4,150 feet tall. It rises from the ice. With perfectly defined triangular faces, sharp angular edges, and a pointed summit that cuts through the frozen landscape like a monument. But here is what is most striking. The precision, the geometry. The structure appears too regular, too calculated, too deliberate, to be the result of random natural erosion. When you see the satellite images, the symmetry is undeniable. It is not a random mountain. It is not a haphazard peak. It is a pyramid. Unmistakably, undeniably, a pyramid. But that discovery sparked a crisis. Scientists scrambled to explain it. Media outlets rushed to dismiss it, and governments quietly began restricting access to that region. Why? If it is just a natural mountain, why the sudden interest? Why the restrictions? The official narrative came quickly. Too quickly. It is a nunatak, they said. A nunatak is a mountain peak that protrudes above a glacier. Natural formation, nothing unusual. Move along. But that explanation raises more questions than it answers. Because yes, there are other mountains in Antarctica. Hundreds of them. Thousands of them, but they do not look like this. They do not have 4 perfectly symmetrical faces. They do not have such precise angles. They do not have sharp pyramid-shaped summits like this one does. And most importantly, there are not 3 of them, arranged in proximity to each other, all with similar pyramid-like geometry. Here is something that makes this even more intriguing. Pyramids. Pyramid-shaped structures appear all over the world, in locations that could not possibly be connected. Egypt, the Great Pyramid of Giza, built over 4,500 years ago, perfectly aligned to the cardinal directions. Constructed with such precision that contemporary technology cannot explain how it was done. Mexico, the Pyramid of the Sun at Teotihuacan, another massive structure, built thousands of years ago, rising 246 feet above the ground, built by an ancient civilization, using tools and knowledge that mainstream history struggles to explain. Peru, Machu Picchu, Pachacamac, massive structures, ancient construction, built high in the mountains, by civilizations that supposedly did not have the technology to move such massive stones. And in Antarctica, 3 pyramids, hidden beneath miles of ice. Why? Why would ancient civilizations build pyramids in Antarctica? Why would they construct massive monuments in one of the most inhospitable places on Earth? Unless they knew something. They knew that Antarctica would not always be covered in ice. They knew that civilization would eventually need to explore these regions, and they left these monuments, these markers, as proof, as evidence that they had been here. Now, here is where the story becomes absolutely fascinating. In 1929, a man named Admiral Richard E. Byrd, one of the greatest explorers of his generation, led an expedition to Antarctica. The official purpose: to explore, to discover, to conduct scientific research, to map the continent. But Byrd's expedition was extraordinary, unprecedented, the largest and most expensive Antarctic expedition ever attempted at that time. 95 sled dogs, 650 tons of supplies, multiple ships, 3 airplanes, state-of-the-art equipment. Byrd set up a base camp called Little America on the Ross Ice Shelf. And from there, he conducted extensive aerial surveys. Using his 3 airplanes, he mapped regions that had never been documented. And here's the crucial detail. One of Byrd's flights took him over the Ellsworth Mountains region, the exact region where those pyramid structures are located, in 2016. Satellite images revealed what Byrd would have seen, what Byrd did see: the pyramids. But Byrd never publicly discussed what he found. He never made any announcements about these structures, in fact. His expedition reports were notably vague about that specific region. Some researchers have suggested that Byrd discovered the pyramids, realized their significance, and made a deliberate choice to keep it secret, to report it through official channels, and to allow the government to control that information. After all, if a prominent explorer, a respected military officer, announced to the world that massive pyramids existed beneath Antarctic ice, the implications would have been extraordinary. It would have challenged everything we believed about human history, about civilization, about the origins of our species. Much easier to keep it quiet, to suppress the discovery, to allow only a select few to know the truth. How is this possible? How could Antarctica have been warm enough, temperate enough to support civilization? The answer lies in the ancient past. Millions of years ago, Antarctica was not a frozen wasteland. Geological evidence proves this. Fossils have been discovered, remnants of plants, animals, tropical fauna that could only have survived in a warm climate. Antarctica was once a thriving continent, covered in vegetation, habitable, home to advanced civilizations perhaps, beings who built monuments, structures, pyramids, that still stand today, buried beneath miles of ice. But then, the climate shifted. Temperatures dropped, the ice came. Slowly at first, then rapidly. The Antarctic summer became the Antarctic winter. Permanent, endless. And the civilizations vanished, or fled, leaving their monuments behind. But here's the critical question. How advanced were these civilizations if they built pyramids? If they possessed the knowledge to construct such monuments, what else did they know? Some theorists suggest that these pyramid structures were not tombs, like the pyramids of Egypt. Instead, they were something else. Power sources, perhaps. Machines that harvested energy from the earth itself. Or they were beacons, markers, left by one civilization for another. A message across time, across millennia. A proof that we existed here. We built this. We had knowledge. We had power. This brings us to the most pressing question. If these pyramids exist, if Byrd saw them, if satellite images confirm them, why keep it secret? The answer reveals the true nature of power and authority. If the world learned that advanced civilizations existed in Antarctica, that history is not what we have been taught. That human civilization may have risen and fallen multiple times. Before our current era, then everything changes. Governments base their authority on established history, on official narratives, on stories that have been approved and sanctioned by institutions. If that history is false, if there is evidence that contradicts the official version, then the foundation of authority crumbles. Moreover, if advanced civilizations once existed and they fell, disappeared, what lessons should we learn? What warnings should we heed? What might we discover if we fully explored what they left behind? Unknown technology, perhaps? knowledge of the world, of the universe. That could revolutionize human civilization or destabilize it. Governments prefer control, stability, order. The discovery of Antarctic pyramids, the exploration of these structures, the investigation of what they might contain, could upset that balance. So the decision is made: keep it quiet, suppress the evidence, restrict access to the region, tell the world it is just mountains, natural formations, nothing to see here. So what is really hidden beneath the Antarctic ice? One possibility: the pyramids are simply monuments, markers left by ancient civilizations as testimony to their existence. Another possibility: they are something more. Repositories of knowledge, built to preserve information, technology, understanding, that advanced ancient civilizations possessed. Or they are power sources, ancient machines, built to manipulate energy, to control climate, to move massive objects. Technology that our civilization is only beginning to understand. What we do know is this: the evidence exists. The satellite images are real, the structures are visible, and governments have a vested interest in keeping them hidden. If you believe that the truth matters, if you believe that human history is more complex and mysterious than we are told, then subscribe to this channel. We uncover the hidden. We question the official narrative. We explore the mysteries that mainstream institutions refuse to acknowledge. Like this video if you think we should know the truth about Antarctica. Leave a comment. What do you think is really hidden beneath the ice? Thank you for watching. Keep questioning, keep exploring. We will see you in the next one.